Hello, and welcome to the Darby Creek Diaries. I'm so glad you're joining me today. I like to make Halloween cards, but I don't really send them. But I have two children with birthdays in October, so I thought this would be the best way to combine it and have the best of both worlds. This is featuring a candlelight candle by Pear Blossom Press, and and Amanda Stevens, she's wonderful. So if you ever want to order, I'll have the information below. But see, the candle blows out just like a birthday candle. We're going to make a 5x7. Yes, I said 5x7 A7 card. I don't think I've ever done one on my channel, but we're doing one today because that cupcake is very big, and to get the candle in there and the light. So I just cut the paper down and you fold it in half and come out with a 5x7 card. You cut like, an inch and a half off of one and an inch off the other. Anyway, it makes I'll look that up for you. Uh, and then I'm going to do some heat embossing of the cupcake. And I'm actually paper piecing too. I mean, this is a red letter day because I don't usually paper piece, but it seemed like a better alternative than me coloring because you guys have seen me color. So I'm going to just do some heat embossing so I have a nice solid raised edge. And I'm going to do some fussy cutting because I don't have the dies to this. I wish I did, but I just don't happen to. So if you haven't seen the heat embossing, that's to me, that's what got me into card making. And I think that's what got a lot of people into card making. So I'm putting away my embossing powder very carefully, but later on, I wind up knocking it over anyway. Now we're going to do the little cupcake cup part. Same thing, just use your powder tool and put on the VersaFine Claire and Nocturnes, the ink I'm using. And it's a pigment ink, so you can emboss with it. And more clear embossing powder. And now I'm going to heat it up. Now, since this paper is thinner than, the regular paper I use, you really want to keep that heat gun a moving. This is probably something like 80 pound. And so it would warp. Not that it really matters because you're going to glue it down. Now, for fussy cutting, you always want to snip into the corners. I think that is the easiest way to go about it. That way you get nice, clean points. I also move the paper and not the scissors because it is so much easier to do that. So you'll watch me that you just move the paper around. And I'm not going to do the whole thing because, I think anybody can cut out this big old icing thing. But the important thing is I blacken the edge with a Memento Tuxedo black marker. It just winds up looking, I don't want to say professional, but let's say cleaner. It kind of hides any mistakes you make in the cutting. So you just go along the edge there and it really makes a difference. Now, the cake part of the cupcake doesn't really have a stamp. So I'm going to just cut out, I'm going to be a little bit loose with this and cut out a little dome. And I'm doing the same thing with the heat embossing. And I went ahead and did that off screen. And now I'm going to glue this down. And of course, uh, I wasn't thinking. I glued this down. I should have cut the dome first. But, hey, it's me. So I think retroactively sometimes. But I'm gluing it. I was just so excited to glue it. There's a little line there on each side where you kind of want to meet up. So this is where it gets interesting. I have to fussy cut out behind. It would have been a whole lot easier to do that had I done it beforehand. But live and learn, or well, in my case, live and then probably do it again, forgetting to learn. I'm placing the cupcake on the first layer of my background. And off screen, I also embossed a candle and colored it in real quick. I love the black glitter paper, and this, it does not shed. And I'm just laying everything out. I thought that glitter paper that brought it together. See, there's that little box underneath the light that I was pointing at, and you really, really want to make sure that your hole is big enough so that the air will pass through that. I was told that the sound of the air passing through is what blows out the candle. So make a bigger hole than what you think you might. And I'm just putting everything down with pencil and, trying to get decent placement there. And I'm going to put a little slit in here for my candle because I just thought it was weird to sit on top of the cupcake. I thought it looked better if there was it kind of tucked in, like it's sitting in the icing. I don't know. Maybe I'm just weird. Now I'm get back to placing things. You do a lot of that with this, but you get really good after the this is my first one, so you get really good after a bit there. Now I had my hole a little low, and so I wound up moving it up. Um, I wound up moving it up more into the yellow. That was a my bad, but I was it was easy to disguise the hole, so no biggie. Now I'm putting where you want to put the press here down at the bottom of the mechanism where obviously you press it and it hits the button. Um, these lights come with their batteries already separate, but you just want to slide it in and make sure you have the positive on the positive and the negative on the negative. And they come in sets of one and two um, from Pear Blossom Press. And this particular stamp set is from Trinity called Hey Cupcake, and it actually was designed with the candlelight in mind. Tunisia and Amanda got together there. And so it actually has the press here, and it'll have some other sentiments here. I'll show you in a minute. So I'm gluing this down, but I'm being a little careful so that I can still slide that candle in. That's why I use liquid glue 90 some percent of the time because I know that I can move things around a little bit. So now I'm just going to glue that little flame down, and then I'm going to drill the hole kind of through the flame, through the paper so that the light will shine through. And then I tested it, and yes, it works. So that's a good sign. There we go. Now you can really see it. And then I was able to blow it out. And that was the second part of the test. This glitter paper, I don't know why I'm a paper hoarder. I mean, it's everybody says it's only paper. Well, I hoard it. So I took the glitter paper and took a A2 size card front die and cut out the center of it to use on a different project because you're never going to see it anyway. And plus, the card's going to be super bulky. I didn't need it to be more bulky. I used the white cardstock is not your mama's cardstock, so it's like 140 pound. Now I put all the foam tape down. Now the foam tape, the best foam tape, it's called the world's best foam tape, is by Pear Blossom Press. I don't have it yet because I can't. I have two rolls still of other, but once I use it up, I'm getting a roll of this because hers is repositionable and you don't have to fight with getting the release paper off of it. So I highly recommend that. Do as I say, not as I do. Now I've patted everything down. Everything looks good. Looks like we're lighting it up. So now it's decorating time. And I am not going to bore you a bunch with that. I'm just going to play some music, but I know people sometimes like to watch the decorating, but you don't need to hear me babble. The sentiment, blow out your candle. Yes, really. That's part of the cupcake set. Now, if you don't want to watch the decorating, come back at 12:30 and we'll go from there. See ya. Here's some music. I hope you enjoyed your little Halloween haunting serenade and that you enjoyed this card and that you give the candlelight and the Hey Cupcake set a try. Everything's listed below. I hope you'll like, subscribe, comment, come back and see me and tell your friends. I have a lot of videos on my playlist you can watch, and I'll be back real soon. Bye bye.